What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Swampscott, and we just hit 85,000 population. That's our top milestone. What I did since the last episode was basically to stamp out a basic boring grid of really high density stuff. And I bought this tile over here to start stamping out some neighborhoods. But all of this was just in an effort to get us to 85,000. I'll leave this zoning for now. But what I wanted to do in today's episode is with $9.9 million in the bank and 85,000 population, now we can drop in all of our uniques, which ultimately allow us to drop in our monuments. Now, I've got a guide on my channel that goes over how to unlock most of these. Some of them are pretty straightforward, but some of these they're not just met by, you know, reaching a certain population cap that unlocks that level of unique building, 1 through 6. But you have specific requirements to unlock some of those other buildings. One that I have not got yet is the Sparkly Unicorn Rainbow Park. You have to win all 5 scenarios that come with natural disasters to get that building. I think I've done one. It's not my cup of tea, so I may not be unlocking that one. Maybe at some point I'll get there. But we dropped in a lot of our level 1 uniques. We didn't drop in the Bird and Bee Haven just yet. So I think what we can do is let's placehold these. So we're gonna slap a bunch of uniques over here. We're gonna move them, but we want to get them into the map so that then we can place our uniques. So this is not where they're staying. In fact, this is going to be very expensive. That building already exists. That's why it won't let me place it. So this is going to be expensive because we're going to move everything in to move it again, but that's what I wanted to get done today, was drop in all of these uniques. Now we're going to completely rebuild this area, so I'm totally fine stacking up all these buildings over here. It's going to be terrible for traffic. It's going to be awful for noise, but we're moving these people out anyways, so that should be totally fine. And we may not even keep all these uniques either. We'll squeeze some of them in where they're appropriate. And little things like this, a little plaza, that can certainly take up a little spot in our city. But I don't know if we're going to do like the Colossal Order offices. As much as I appreciate all the work they do, it's really a beast. It's a big one. Let's get a few more of these buildings in here where we can, if we can. So let's see. Let's delete this road right here and all of these buildings that are with it. So we'll move all them out. So that we've got a little bit of room on the other side of the block. How far along are we? So Market Street. This is kind of a cool one. Maybe we can find a good spot for this right off the bat. Okay, fire truck's already there. So where can we put Market Street? This is a big one. It'd be nice if we could kind of squeeze it on the main street there, but I didn't really leave room for it. Can we come up here? Where's our side street? So I think I bought these 2 tiles on the edge. I think we're gonna buy this one next because this lets us hook in one more highway exit, maybe up here on this side of the town, and build out a little bit more towards the highway so it doesn't quite end so abruptly. But in the meantime, where will it let us put this thing? We could do that. Let's just do that to place it in there for now. Again, we may not keep all of these buildings, so real slop fest going on here, but that is okay. Gonna leave those disconnected for now. And then maybe we could use this strip up this way for some more buildings. These are gonna create all kinds of traffic problems for all the people that are going to start rushing to these buildings. What is this one now? academic library requires 5 instances of public library. I swear I've unlocked this one, but for whatever reason, it doesn't remember that I've met that requirement before. Okay, so now just our level 6 buildings. Let's cram these in wherever we can. Wherever it will let us. So this one goes on the water. And then this one is huge. This is the Central Park object from the Green Cities DLC. So maybe we could do something like that over here. I don't think it's going to let me snap to that crooked road. That's not terrible. We could make that work. That might even stay there. I don't know. We'll find a spot for it. That is, if I am correct, all of the uniques dropped in, which means that at least for everything that isn't natural disasters, we can drop in those buildings. So now we can swap out our 2 nuclear power plants. Let's take a look at what this does for power, because this is a pretty remarkable jump. If we look at what we have here, we've got 2 nuclear power plants. They produce 0 pollution, 50 noise pollution, cost $200,000, $8,000 per week upkeep for 640 megawatts of power. Now, if we look at the upgrade that we get from the fusion power plant, a little bit more noise pollution, same upkeep, but 16,000 megawatts of power. So that is a huge upgrade. We'll go ahead and destroy both of those. We'll drop in our fusion monument. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Make sure you have good fire coverage around your buildings like this, because you do not want that to burn down. So where is our closest? We're kind of surrounded by 2 different stations. I think we'll be okay there. We'll take our chances. Fingers crossed. Over here is the space elevator. This is a great one for bringing people into our city, but since we don't have the infrastructure to support that just yet, let's not worry about that. Let's get in the Eden project next. Again, this is not their final resting place, but this has a tremendous effect in the city. Basically reducing population, reducing pollution. Reducing population would be terrible. Reducing pollution across the entire city. No noise, no pollution. Does have quite a bit of upkeep cost. And it uses a bit of water and electricity. But it brings in visitors, it reduces pollution, and we'll see, actually, let's take a look now, that it will really minimize these pockets where they're polluting the ground around them. It's really only going to be the buildings themselves that are polluted. And we'll see this bubble shrink quite a bit. So if we let this play on 3 times speed for a minute, let's see what this does to this industrial area here. You should see it start to slowly recede and push back the pollution bubble just a little bit. It's going to take a while, but when it does, it's going to mean that our city is going to be much more beautiful, and we'll get rid of all this purple dirt that that crops up around the industrial areas. But you saw it already dipped it once, and there it goes again. So that'll have a tremendous impact. We're only at, I was going to say 1 point something %, but why did that just jump up there? It did jump below 1 there for a moment. So we should see that continue to recede to the point where we'll have pretty much 0 pollution regardless of kind of where things are. So even an industrial building won't pollute across the street, and that should make all these trees actually already start to fill out with more and more leaves. You'll notice this one, the trees in the plaza will actually start to look better also once they're not sitting on polluted ground anymore. So we're not going to do space elevator. I don't think we need to worry about medical center either. So medical center provides healthcare to the entire city. It's a very expensive monument though. And right now we have 8 sick citizens. So we're going to wait on that one. Now the ultimate recycling plant is really nice, but we need to find a good central spot for it. So we want to have kind of easy highway access. We want to be not too close to anybody, because it does have that considerable noise pollution bubble, but let's get a little spot for this I don't know. Where can we get it over here? Where can we cram it in? I'm going to put it right there for now. And at that point, we won't worry about Lord Chirpwick. Lord Chirpwick came from the Park Life DLC. And this one has a global entertainment value. So basically it increases entertainment across the entire city and increases the attractiveness of all unique buildings by 25%. So they become more appealing to visit for both people that live here as well as tourists coming in from the outside world. We will drop that in eventually. We'll also drop in the medical center monument probably, and maybe the space elevator when we're ready. Hadron Collider is a really nice one to drop in, but education wise, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do it. This will give education to the entire city. So it'd be awesome if we could drop it in right there. Or right here. Let's break this street. Let's throw the building right there on that corner. That one might stay, but we'll see. Now, we don't have any custom universities on the map just yet. If we did and we wanted those to be successful, you can disable University Boost. And that can be really important if you don't want your universities to crash when you drop the collider in. The collider basically makes it so you don't have to worry about education. It provides it for everybody in the city. And that includes elementary, high school, and university. When it came out, it was pretty broken because campus, or I should say when campus came out, it was pretty broken. Because if you had the collider, there was no way to disable University Boost. You basically couldn't use this monument with campus because you couldn't upgrade your universities. That nobody would go there. So we could disable University Boost if we wanted people to attend our universities, but since they're just the plain Jane built-in universities right now, and we haven't done anything special with them, where are they? We've got a couple of them. One is over here by this metro station. There we go, right across the street. So if we inspect that, we can see that there's 2,500 and 4,500 possible capacity coming to that one university. But we're doing pretty good there. Plenty of availability now because we, as you can see, thanks to the collider, it basically bumps the capacity of all the schools up. So now we have this tremendous education potential for the city. Collider is a great one for that. I was gonna say, why is this flooding? But that was always a little water outlet there. So I think what we'll do is, let me see where we're at. Today's going to be a short one. We got the monuments, we got the uniques in, and now we can start thinking about our end game. Part of that is going to be breaking most of what you see on screen here, because this was all just temporary placeholder to get us to 85,000, which we've done. We're going to certainly put the hurting on our bank account. If we come in here, let's see. Is there anything that we didn't drop in or is going to mess us up if we don't drop it in now? Do we have the money for it? That is 1.9 million. That is 650. That is 1.5. So we don't have the money for all three of these just yet. Let me grind up a bit of cash before we delete everything. Maybe I'll drop those uniques and kind of bottom out our bank account. And then we can start to shift and shimmy things around. But then again, we won't have a lot of money to rebuild stuff. So do we do those things? I don't know. Space Elevator's nice at bringing in tourists. It's terrible at what it does to the skyline of the city. I don't think I'm going to do it this time. Medical Center, we don't really need it. We've got good med coverage over the city. And in fact, we could improve it by upgrading some of those smaller clinics to hospitals. This one arguably has a good overall effect, especially if we want to bring tourists in. But again, we're not there yet. So I'm not going to worry about those things. I'm going to start demoing this slowly but surely. We're going to drop in somewhere over here. Let's take a look at the footprint size before we quit out today. There's a new airport. Cargo hub. Blimp. It's over here somewhere. It's got to be over here somewhere. What? Where is like International Airport? Did that get moved? Yeah, it did. So what is this tab technically? Public transport hubs. I guess because it has a metro stop built in. So where is our new one? Metropolitan Airport, $300,000. This is $250. Slope too steep. So we need a nice flat area to place it, like so. It's got crisscrossing runways, and we need to kind of find a way to tuck it in like that, maybe something like that, where we can bring those roads in and out. Let's pop this thing down before we quit today, and then we can figure out how to connect it on the next episode. If we come in here and level, and we'll go full size on the brush and strength, hit X or square to pick a height, or right click on PC, and then we can kind of flatten out to that level. It'll give us a little bit more room to kind of shimmy around. And then we could tighten up this shoreline just a little bit. I don't think we needed much. I mean, there was a spot where we could put it, but now we can angle it a little bit better. So if we go back over to Transport and the Hubs tab, we've got the Metropolitan Airport. This is a new one for Sunset Harbor. So it is a bigger version of the airport. Airport and a helicopter stop hub with integrated metro station allows people to conveniently switch between air for quick access to and from the city. So it's kind of like the International Airport, but upgraded just a tiny bit. So I want to kind of sit it right there. Where is the slope too steep? Over here? Let's try one more time. Flatten that out just a little bit more. Just a little bit more room for us. We're going to be careful when we get over to the edge of the map there, because if we make any real rough, jagged lines, we may not be able to fix them. But this tile was always kind of out on the edge, and we put our garbage out here. We kind of needed it for connecting up here and getting a highway up to this side of the city. So we had to, I felt like we had to buy this one. Let's do that. Let's get a look. So what does this do? It gives us a two-way street, which is interesting. I don't know why you would have a two-way street on an entrance like that. It's one of the first buildings where we start to see actual parking. Although if you had a huge Metropolitan International Airport, it would probably require more parking spaces than that. But it's a step in the right direction. Let's get this thing all connected up with power lines. What's our easiest route? Right from here. Right from the prison. Direct to there for now. And then let's get water hooked up. And we will call it a day. I feel like some of these episodes are going to be a little bit shorter, because we're getting into more kind of endgame topics. There's less of the actual build and more of the grind, and really, honestly, at this point, this is all where your aesthetic choice comes into play. You know, how do I trim this down? You know, how do we make this look like a more cohesive city? Right now, you got some really hard edges that come up to the edge of the map, and we're going to delete a lot of this. Certainly a lot of this that you see on screen, the new section of the city, and we'll zone this down to lower density at some point. But we're getting there. We're making progress. Every episode, hopefully, is something new, something that makes you laugh, inspires, educates, whatever it is you came here for. Hope you found it today. If you did, likes, comments, and shares really help the channel a lot, and they're all greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe for more, considering the bell to get notifications for updates in this and other series. Follow me on Twitter and join the Discord if you want to get involved in the discussion. If you'd like to support the channel, links to that and all of those other things in the description down below. But until the next one, when we'll start to trim back our build and try and make it look a little bit more the part, That's all for today from Swampscott. It's better than it sounds. Till the next one, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.